No problem. So, do you think you have what it takes to compete in the International Quant Championship? Sign up and be the next Quant champion.
Forces most to defer their dreams until next time. If there is a next time.
It's losing.
Oh my god, did he just blow?
Yeah, he did.
I'm blown away. The game is over.
As the chess world turns to Kazakhstan, the Magnus Carlsen dynasty is set to close. The FIDE World Championship is finally up for grabs. For two chess superstars lying in wait, until next time is now. Jan Nepomniachtchi has methodically done what he needed to do to get another shot at the title. The pressure to seize the moment this time rests heavily upon him.
Jan is running out of resources. He's built every single threat that's possible, and Dings just countered it.
There's no way to make progress now.
Ding Liren knows firsthand what the end of this dynasty means. An unexpected chance to make history. Can China's best turn his good fortune into eternal fame?
It's a draw. What an amazing defense by Ding. The 2023 world champion will be decided in speed chess.
The legacy of this championship spans across centuries. It reads from the names of chess giants. For the first time in a decade, a new name will raise the trophy and be etched into chess history. It's the 2023 FIDE World Championship. Whose name will next be called champion?
History is being written in Astana as Jan Nepomniachtchi and Ding Liren will come back to this glass room to play their third rapid game. We are down to the playoffs. Welcome everyone to our coverage of the FIDE World Championship match, and if you've missed the action so far, you have missed out on two remarkable games. So make sure you don't go anywhere, get the popcorn, because we're just getting started. Two more rapid games coming up, the score is level, and I'm trying to remember, and I can't remember a world championship which actually came down to a blitz playoff and was decided in blitz. We are 1-1, and we spoke about this at the start of the show. I'm going to throw this question out one more time. What are the chances that changes today? What are the chances that does happen today and we go into a blitz playoff? I'll start with Robert.
Uh-oh. I mean, you're putting me on the spot. Of course, I expected at this point. That's the one thing I can expect in this match because everything else is just chaos. But I have to say, the first two games of the Rapid here have been very high quality. I want to give my praise to these players. They have found great ideas, some really nice defensive resources. Jan giving up his queen in that first game, and then Ding in game two, he was able to stabilize from an iffy position. So whether or not we go to blitz doesn't matter to me. I just love the chess that we're seeing, and both players are giving it their all, and I think they're actually showing their best stuff at the end of the match.
Bobby, in 2016, 2018, we did see playoffs happen, but the matches were decided in the rapid portion. And you've been saying this from the start, that there is a big likelihood of seeing a big fight in rapid, but getting a final decisive result in blitz, simply seeing the way the players have been playing. Are you sticking to that prediction?
Yeah, I'm sticking to it. I think it's a very high chance that we're seeing a blitz playoff. And of course, anything could happen. These guys have played pretty well. I mean, the first game was, I think, excellent. Second game, Ding defended a really unpleasant position out of the opening. And I think Jan missed a few chances. Overall, in these two games, it feels like they've been able to pose problems with the white pieces. It looks like they've been getting under a bit of pressure, both of them playing with the black pieces, and we'll see if that trend continues.
Or if Ding has a new idea, and he starts with knight f3. That is not a move we've seen by Ding in this World Championship. I love this view, and we see knight f3. And is it going to transpose into some kind of Catalan, or will he keep the d pawn on d2? Wow, a Reti.
Very classical approach from Jan. Bishop to e7, invitation to Catalan. Castle, and here d4 would transpose, but b3. He played like this against Anish in the in Vikings. Ding got a really big advantage, winning advantage, but lost the game. And that was with d4 and c5. Yeah, so we're seeing a totally different approach. That game that Ding played with Anish was a wild one. If anyone watching wants to see a crazy game that Ding recently played, that was one of them. This is going to be a more quiet approach. White plays bishop to b2, followed by d4. There's a lot of theory here, knight c6 and d4.
Jan looks completely unbothered by what's happening on the chessboard. So you said it's a lot of theory. Jan, he's been preparing for the candidates in 2020/21. He played a world championship match against Magnus. He played the candidates again and won those. He's playing this match. He seems like he knows his theory.
Yeah, for sure. He knows this line, I'm sure, very, very well. And he prepared it for the match. We didn't see it in any of the classical games. What Jan wanted to play against knight f3. Because knight f3, g3, and g3 is an invitation to basically, like, at least a dozen viable systems for black, you know? So it's really a question of preference, which one you choose. And now we found out that this is what Jan wanted to play. It's very logical because it's also could transpose to a line he likes to play against the Catalan, which he defended successfully in the candidates, and in the World Championship match against Magnus, we also saw a draw in that Catalan with bishop to e7. So it makes sense from let's say a repertoire point of view for Jan. And now Ding is thinking queen d4 or bishop d4. I think bishop d4 is supposed to be the move. Queen d4 invites bishop to f6.
D4. Bishop d4 and queen d4. Almost equally popular here. Queen d4 has been played by Vladimir Kramnik by Hikaru Nakamura. So definitely a move that is that Ding is considering right now. By the way, this position that we have after knight d4, super popular with the top players. So many super grandmasters above 2700 have employed this opening. The likes of Hikaru, the likes of Artemiev. You got Vladislav Artemiev, Quayne Jones with the black pieces. Shakhriyar Mamedyarov has played this position. Wesley So has played this position. So it's definitely something both players are very familiar with. And we do see the recapture with the queen to d4. And Fabi, you were mentioning the move bishop to f6, hitting that queen. It is the most popular response here. And the only square the queen has, you've got to fall back to d2. You've got to stay connected to that bishop on b2.
Yeah, it forces queen d2. Also, the threat of queen g7 was so unpleasant that this is the most natural way to meet it. And I'll mention a funny move here. I don't think it loses. I think actually two really funny moves don't lose. One is knight to c3, and one is knight to e3. And I think that they're both very like they don't tactically lose. It looks like it's losing a piece, but probably it's like just not very positionally desirable.
I'll just show very quickly. The queen takes knight e2 check, intermezzo. And if you take this knight on c3 with the bishop, there's queen takes d2. And unfortunately, you can't take with the bishop. The rook is hanging in the corner. And if you take with the knight, bishop takes c3, wins back the piece. And it's just an equal game according to the eval bar.
So after knight c3, white can play, let's say, queen to c2. Knight takes b1. Maybe you take first on f6. Queen f6, rook a b1. And probably this would be completely equal. It looks like a sterile position, but the bishop on c8 is not yet developed. So, like, we won't see this, but it's just a funny...
oh, he's reaching out for the knight. I saw him.
He can also go to f4 with the knight. That's the other thing I was going to mention, but it has similar ideas.
Yeah,
Almost touched the knight and then he pulled back.
Well, he's going to move his knight, but he goes knight f4. But I was wondering about this too, and Fabi, I knew that was going to be your second stop in your knight's tour. But if you just take this knight, the point for everybody watching is that after queen takes, that queen is the only piece defending the bishop. So after pawn takes knight, queen takes queen, knight takes queen, this bishop is hanging on b2. Now, this is important to work on your visualization and tactical awareness so we can see, or hopefully you can remember, that black gives up a knight and a queen, white gives up a queen and a bishop. So we're trading equal material, but the resulting position will leave white with a knight, this knight on b1, or will be on d2, and we'll leave black with a bishop. But I think the contours remain the same. The bishop on g2 outclasses the bishop on c8. So just to quickly put that on the board for everybody, give me this free knight on f4. You're going to take my queen. I'll take back. You'll take on b2. And then after some rook move, yeah, white will probably be slightly better despite black having the pair of bishops. And I know how much we harp on the bishop pair being so great, but it's because that this bishop on g2 is so much stronger than the bishop on c8, and white will try to get to the c file and cause some pressure down the open queen side.
Yeah, white definitely has pressure here, and I think that Ding is kind of obligated to go for this. He doesn't have anything else which makes any sense. So we will probably see this. And if Jan was on his prep, I would say, yeah, Ding has a nice position to press for a win, but Jan being in his prep, knowing the position well, I don't think that he'll be facing significant problems. So we will likely see that black equalizes with an accurate series of moves after rook to b1. I don't know where the bishop goes. It looks like c3 is a natural square. And black's idea is probably to play rook to b8, followed by b5. Just free the queen side.